Welcome to this presentation titled Disappearing Wetlands, a Global Crisis. This project has been prepared for the Environmental Science class by Ankit Yadav and Sachita Sharma. Wetlands are vanishing at an alarming pace, putting biodiversity, climate stability, and human communities at serious risk. In this presentation, we'll explore what wetlands are, why they matter, the causes of their decline, and what we can do to protect them. Here's what we'll cover. Introduction to wetlands, wetland ecosystems, mangrove ecosystems, wetland wildlife, global wetland loss statistics, most affected areas, causes of wetland loss, environmental impacts, conservation efforts, success stories, individual actions. Conclusion. Let's begin our journey by understanding the basics. What exactly are wetlands?
Wetlands are some of the most unique and valuable ecosystems on Earth. They exist in places where water covers the soil or stays just beneath the surface for different periods of time. These areas act as natural bridges between land and water, creating an environment unlike any other. Let's look at the main types of wetlands found around the world. Marshes. These wetlands are filled with grasses and other soft plants. They're often found around lakes, rivers, and low-lying areas. Swamps are forested wetlands dominated by trees and shrubs. Bogs are acidic wetlands rich in moss and layers of peat. They receive most of their water from rainfall. Fens are also peat-forming wetlands, but they are fed by groundwater and are less acidic. Mangroves are coastal wetlands found in tropical regions where salt-tolerant trees grow along the shoreline. Even though these wetlands may look very different, they share one common trait. Water shapes their soil, vegetation, and wildlife. Wetlands aren't just stagnant water, they are living systems that connect our aquatic and terrestrial worlds. Wetlands are often called Earth's natural infrastructure because of the incredible services they provide to both the environment and human life. They are among the most productive ecosystems on the planet. First, wetlands act as natural water filters. They trap sediments, absorb excess nutrients, and remove pollutants. This process improves the quality of rivers, lakes, and groundwater that millions of people depend on. Second, wetlands protect us from floods. During storms and heavy rainfall, wetlands absorb and slow down floodwaters. In fact, they can reduce flood heights by 15 to 20%, saving billions in potential damage. Third, wetlands are powerful carbon stores. Their soil and vegetation can trap and hold vast amounts of carbon for centuries. For example, mangrove forests alone can store up to 394 tons of carbon per hectare, helping combat climate change. But wetlands are not just about land and water. They're about life. Over 40% of the world's plant and animal species depend on wetlands for survival. They are essential habitats for migratory birds, endangered wildlife, and nursery grounds for nearly 75% of commercially important seafood species. Each year, wetlands support around 800 billion juvenile fish and invertebrates. Simply put, when we protect wetlands, we protect biodiversity, communities, and the planet's future. Wetlands are disappearing at a rate that has alarmed scientists and conservationists across the world. The numbers tell a clear and urgent story. Since 1970, the world has lost 22% of its wetlands. That equals nearly 411 million hectares. Imagine 500 million football fields wiped off the map. Right now, wetlands are declining at a rate of 0.52% every year. In some regions, the pace is even faster, and many ecosystems are nearing irreversible damage. Wildlife is suffering alongside habitat loss. Around 40% of all wetland-dependent species are now threatened with extinction. From fish and birds to mammals and plants, biodiversity is under severe pressure. These numbers are not just statistics. They are a warning. The disappearance of wetlands is not a distant problem. It is a present-day crisis that affects climate stability, food security, and the survival of countless species. Wetlands around the world are disappearing due to a combination of human activities and environmental pressures. Here are the main drivers behind this crisis. 1. Agriculture. This is the single biggest cause of wetland loss. About 43% of global wetland conversion is due to draining land for farming, rice fields, and livestock grazing. Even wetlands that aren't fully destroyed are often damaged by nutrient runoff from fertilizers and pesticides. 2. Urban development. As cities expand, wetlands are filled, fragmented, or cut off from their natural water sources. Construction, infrastructure, and coastal development change water flow and increase pollution through stormwater runoff. 3. Aquaculture. Shrimp farming has devastated mangrove wetlands, especially in Southeast Asia. Many abandoned aquaculture ponds become so degraded that they cannot regenerate naturally. While wetland loss is alarming, there is hope. Around the world, restoration projects are proving that wetlands can recover, and with them, the species and communities that depend on them. 1. Kafue Flats, Zambia. A $300,000 restoration project revived seasonal flooding patterns and controlled invasive species. Today, it generates over $1 million annually in conservation investment and supports 1.3 million people whose livelihoods depend on the wetlands, $30 million in annual fisheries value, critical habitat for the endangered Kafue lekwe. 2. East Asian Australasian Flyway. This multi-country initiative protects 140-plus priority wetlands along bird migration routes, benefiting both wildlife and people. Supports 50 million migratory waterbirds, benefits 200 million people across the region, mobilizes $3 billion in blended conservation finance. These success stories show that even degraded wetlands can be restored. With planning, investment, and cooperation, we can bring these ecosystems back to life, protecting biodiversity, livelihoods, and the climate. Wetlands are disappearing at an alarming rate. 22% lost since 1970, threatening biodiversity, climate resilience, and human well-being. These ecosystems are more than just scenic landscapes. They are vital life support systems for our planet. The fate of wetlands and the future of humanity are deeply intertwined. Protecting wetlands means safeguarding endangered species, maintaining natural flood defenses, storing carbon to combat climate change, and securing food and water resources for millions of people. Together, we can make a difference. By raising awareness, supporting conservation efforts, volunteering, and advocating for policy changes, each one of us can play a role in preserving these critical ecosystems. Remember, when we protect wetlands, we protect ourselves, countless species, and the generations to come. Our wetlands are our future, and the time to act is now.